Ice cream is one of the world's favorite desserts. When hankering for this frozen treat, most of us simply grab a carton like this or maybe go to an ice cream shop. After all, the thought of making ice cream yourself might seem as difficult as alchemy. Or is it? An ice cream maker promises the ability to quickly and easily make this frozen treat at home. But is that really the case? Today I'm going to go over the different types of ice cream makers and their pros and cons, explain how they work, and yes, demonstrate how to make ice cream in one. Most of all, we'll weigh the merits of whether getting an ice cream maker is worth the time and investment. So, let's get churning. Hello and welcome to I Want to Cook. My name is Chef Matt and this channel is all about helping you be a better cook. And today's episode is all about making ice cream at home. And to do that, you'll need, wait for it, an ice cream maker. While there are several different designs, most ice cream machines work on the same principle. And that is to take a liquid mixture and not just freeze it, but churn it. Now that last part, the churning, is crucial. Because if you take the ingredients for ice cream, say cream, milk, and sugar, and simply put it in your freezer, ice cream you will not make. Instead, you'll get basically a big ice cube made of cream, sugar, and milk, and nobody would want to bite into that. To get the creamy, fluffy, and scoopable texture associated with ice cream, two things must happen while the liquid ingredients are being frozen. And that's for the mixture to be aerated, incorporated with air, and for it to be churned. Similar to making homemade butter like we did not that long ago in a KitchenAid mixer. Ice cream machines do all of this: the freezing, churning, and aerating. While these machines all have the same purpose, there's several different designs. So let's dive into the various types and how they go about making ice cream. So perhaps the most common type of home ice cream maker is this variety, the canister type. And they're remarkably simple. They only have four main parts. You've got the base here, and it's got this gear on top, and the motor in the base turns this gear. You have this canister, which mounts right on top of the gear, and then you have this part. This is very important, this plastic piece. It's called the dasher. And this part is what enables the cream to churn and be aerated. And then finally you have the lid that you just mount on like so. This is called a canister variety ice cream maker. So how does this machine make ice cream or other frozen treats? Well, the secret is inside this canister, literally. Inside of this sealed chamber is a coolant. And what you do is you put the entire canister into your freezer for at least 24 hours and it freezes that coolant solid. So if you kind of shake it and you hear that liquid shaking around inside, it's not going to make ice cream. This thing has to be frozen solid, at least 24 hours. Ask me how I know. Once the canister is fully frozen, you mount it on the base along with the dasher and lid. Turn on the machine and then pour in your ice cream mixture. The dasher stays in place while the bowl moves around it. As that happens, the mixture touches the frozen wall of the canister to create ice crystals, which are pushed toward the center by the dasher. As it churns and churns, the entire mixture freezes while air is incorporated. After about 20 to 25 minutes, voila, you get ice cream. Want to add goodies like chocolate chips or sprinkles? Simply do that toward the last few minutes of churning time and you'll have your own customized treat. This will often be a soft serve consistency, and if you want it to harden, give it some time in the freezer before enjoying. This method, in general, is how all home ice cream makers work. And this method can also make other frozen or slushy treats, from frozen yogurt to semi-frozen drinks like those that you get at 7-Eleven. Simply freeze the canister, turn on the machine, and let it turn, churn, and freeze. So what are the pros and cons of a model like this? Well, starting with the pros is that they're pretty common, they're pretty affordable, and they're really easy to use. These come in different sizes, usually about like a 1 quart to a 2 quart, and they usually range in price from say about $50 to $100. And making ice cream in them is quite simple. And yes, I will share my own basic recipe for an ice cream that you can then tailor to your own taste. The major con of one of these, and you probably saw this coming, is that they require planning. You have to put that canister into your freezer for at least 24 hours. So you need to kind of plan for your ice cream at least the day before, or if you do want to just have impromptu ice cream making with one of these, you'll have to keep a canister in your freezer, and that can rob valuable space in there. And while $70, say, isn't that much money, it is still quite an investment to spend on basically a unitasker. The good news, however, is that I see these all the time at thrift stores for super cheap. Seriously, I see them all the time. There's one. Oh, and look down to the left of that. There's another, and yes, there's yet another. I bought this one new in the box for $11. I believe it's about 25 years old, but the design hasn't changed much, and it works beautifully. And yes, I couldn't help but snag this smaller rival model because it's just so cute. But seriously, if you're looking for one of these and you don't want to spend a fortune, look at a thrift store. I see these so often. I think they're kind of like bread machines. You know, people get them and either they don't use them at all or they use them once or twice, and the novelty, no pun intended, wears off, and then they get donated. Then I swoop in and get them, but so can you. Now, another type of ice cream maker, and unfortunately I don't have one here because I have yet to find one at the thrift store, is the self-contained variety. This is a more advanced type of ice cream maker, and with these, you don't have to freeze a canister ahead of time because the unit essentially has a built-in freezer. So with the self-contained units, all you need to do is make the mixture and pour it in. Turn on the machine and it does the rest. Now, the big benefit of a machine like that is you don't have to worry about pre-freezing the canister and taking up space in your freezer. You can really just kind of make ice cream whenever you want to. And you can make batch after batch. You can't really do that if you only have one canister for your ice cream. Those are one and done with the canister variety. Now, of course, the big downside with a self-contained unit is they are expensive. They're usually about $300 or more. And not only are they more expensive, they also tend to be a bit larger, so you're gonna need to find a place in your kitchen to keep the thing. So they are expensive and they're also kind of space hogs. But believe me, if I ever see one at a thrift store, I'm gonna grab it. Then there's the old school variety, the bucket style ice cream maker. Raise your hand if you had one of these as a kid, maybe you have fond memories of it. Yes, back in the day and even today, these are still made. This is called the bucket style ice cream maker because it uses a big bucket. And these can either be hand crank or they could be electric like this one. Now I found this one recently at the thrift store. This is an old rival Dolly Madison, made in the USA back when they were doing that. This thing must be, I don't know, at least 40 years old. It appeared new in the box, never used. I paid a total of $8 for it, which I guess is even less than it was new. New, it was about $13, so a deal. But these use a slightly different approach to making ice cream. Instead of freezing a canister ahead of time, you make the one that it has really, really cold while it's operating and just pray that it works. This is done by adding a lot of ice, some cold water, and rock salt around the canister in the bucket. The rock salt, by the way, lowers the freezing point of the ice, which helps pull heat away from the ice cream mixture and thus freeze it. To be honest with you, these might be fun for a party or something, but the truth is they take a lot of work, both literally and physically if you're hand cranking it, and even if you have an electric model, it can take quite a bit of time, something like 40 minutes to churn. These units are also kind of space hogs, but they are an option. Okay, I'll quickly mention a few other types just in case you are shopping for an ice cream machine. Now there are some newer models called blade type ice cream makers. You can find them by Ninja. They make the Creamy. I know that's very popular, and Cuisinart also makes one. And these work kind of reverse to the canister or other variety. Now in this case, you actually do freeze your liquid mixture ahead of time, and then when you're ready to make ice cream, you put it into the machine. It's got some rapidly spinning blades, and that kind of cuts up and aerates the ice cream to get your finished product. Now I haven't tried one of these things. I know that America's Test Kitchen, they didn't really look favorably on that type, but I also know that they do have a lot of fans. So if you're one of those, let me know how it's working out for you. Now these things aren't cheap. They can cost $200 or $300, and you also need to use a different type of recipe often to get good results. So you might need to use like pudding mix and some different types of sweeteners in them for them to work. Now, there are a couple other types that you can actually get if you have a stand mixer. So KitchenAid also sells a canister type. It's actually a big bowl that you can make ice cream in, as does Ankersum. And you might recall that a few weeks ago, I actually found a Swedish Ankersum mixer. But the issue with those is that you have to freeze the whole thing in your freezer, and those things are big. So it's neat that you can use a machine that you already have. That's good, but they cost a lot of money and they can take up a lot of room in your freezer. Now, as for making ice cream, well, good news. It's a lot easier than you think. And at its most basic, you only need 4 ingredients: heavy whipping cream, milk, sugar, and vanilla. That's going to get you a very basic but very delicious vanilla ice cream. To make the world's easiest vanilla ice cream, simply mix 2 cups of cream, 1 cup of milk, half a cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then pour it into your ice cream maker. That's all it takes, and it might just blow your mind at how good and how real it tastes. I mean, this, if you went to an ice cream shop or you got it at the store, you would probably spend 2 or 3 times the amount of just the ingredients that it takes to make this simple ice cream. I put some sprinkles in this one. And it's so real. It's so good. Now, if you wanted to make a richer, what's called a French-style ice cream, that takes a little more planning and it is a bit trickier because you need to make a base that's called a crème anglaise. And it's basically like a custard sauce that involves using egg yolks. So you have to cook the cream, you have to do a process called tempering with the egg yolks, and then you have to chill that before you put it into the ice cream machine. If you'd like a whole episode on crème anglaise and all the things you can do with it, let me know in the comments and maybe we'll put that on the docket. So that's an overview of ice cream machines and how they work, but let's get back to the premise of this video. Should you buy one? Well, if you only enjoy ice cream occasionally, probably not. You're likely just better off treating yourself to a scoop at an ice cream shop or just grabbing a carton at the store when the mood strikes. But maybe you do like ice cream more often, and more importantly, you want to know and determine the exact ingredients that go into yours. If that's the case, these can make a lot of sense. So for example, let's say you only want organic ingredients in your ice cream. Well, you can buy one of these and choose exactly what you want, and you're likely going to save a lot of money on that ice cream because the real good stuff made with great ingredients that's, bought at a store or in a shop, that can get really expensive really fast. And don't forget that you can make other things beyond just ice cream in one of these machines. I showed you ice cream and a slushie, but you can also make frozen yogurt, you can make sorbet or even a sherbet. You can make quite a few different frozen and slushy type treats using one of these. Here's my recommendation if you do want to kind of just try out the whole homemade ice cream thing, and that's getting one of these canister models. Again, if you want to buy them new, they don't cost a fortune, but better yet, just go to a thrift store. Seriously, I see them there almost all the time. So let's say you spend $15 on one of these, you might even find it new in the box. That's not a big outlay of money. That's maybe 2 or 3 canisters of the good stuff in the store. So you can experiment with it and see if you like it, and if you don't, you're not out a whole lot of money. But now I want to hear from you. Are you an ice cream aficionado? Do you make ice cream at home often? What have you found that works and maybe what doesn't? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. Okay, trivia time. Last week I asked you to identify this rather strange looking thing, and several of you knew exactly what this is. This is a lychee fruit native to Southeast Asia. Inside this kind of hard shell, there's this juicy, delicious white fruit, but make sure you take out the seed that's in the middle. These are great eaten alone or used in recipes. Hey, we can make some lychee ice cream. For this week's culinary trivia, this is a part of something. So this is obviously for a culinary tool. What is this? If you know what this is and maybe what it's part of, put your guess in the comments below, and I will of course let you know the correct answer in next week's episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Until next time, I hope you want to cook.